Hey yogis, so today we're going to be going through a straightforward hamstring-focused vinyasa practice. We're going to be targeting both the low back and the spine as that fascia in the back body, especially the low back, that connects to the lats and the glutes and this X formation, thoracicular lumbar fascia. When there's restriction in the pelvis and the pelvis has trouble tilting forward and tilting backwards, when the pelvis is really fixed, then the hamstrings are going to be really fixed. And that's why people who have really tight hamstrings, they tend to really round their spine. It's because often a lot of the restriction is coming from the back. It's not coming from their hamstrings. So in today's practice, we're going to go through some spine movements, some fascia release, some side bending, as well as, of course, some hamstring focused movements. Now, this is not going to be probably the sweatiest practice you've ever been, because when we're focusing on flexibility in a yoga practice, we tend to have to slow down, do some longer holds. And then I'm going to film some other parts. I'm going to film a restorative, which you can do either directly after this video or do it in between rounds of doing this video. If you're really wanting to work on your hamstrings, like in a month, I would do this video maybe 3 times a week and then add in the restorative. And then I'm also going to film just like a short and sweet, just like stretching video, just like a really quick and easy, like 15-20 minutes of hamstring focused stretches that you can throw in each and every day. And hopefully hopefully after a week or two, see some improvement. And then hopefully if you do try to do like a 30-day challenge, you will see some major improvement in the mobility of your hamstrings. So that is our plan. Sorry for the long introduction. You guys know I just love to talk before a video. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Today, please have 2 blocks and a strap. And a good thing today is that I'm extremely sore in my hamstrings today because I've been doing some Pilates. Like my legs and my ass are so sore. So that's good though for demonstrating, because my range of motion is going to be a lot more limited today than normal. So I'm definitely going to be utilizing my props. And please excuse the sunglasses, it's early and the sun is blinding me. So we're going to go ahead and begin on our backs. Have your strap nearby so you can grab it. Coming all the way down on a comfortable position, doesn't matter what it looks like today. I'm going to take constructive rest just because that feels really nice in my low back. And just allow the eyes to close. Just breathe, whether you're practicing with me early in the morning, middle of the day, or at night. Just letting go of the white noise, letting the chatter of the mind start to quiet down as you just focus on your breath. And as you continue to breathe, just notice the senses of your body. Maybe if you're outside like me, noticing the sun or the shade or the breeze, the sounds you can hear, the smell and the taste of grass. This is the first day that we've had relatively clean air in weeks, so I'm celebrating being outside right now. But if you're inside, feel the comfort of your home. Notice the sounds around you. Maybe you have a furry friend walking around or maybe nearby. And let your surroundings and your connection to your senses ground you into your body. Yoga is a grounding practice. Helps us become ultra aware of our bodies. And let's take 3 cleansing breaths. Expel all your air. Take a big inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top. Exhale through the mouth for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Take a big inhale. And a big, big, big sigh. Take the next few moments to set your intention for this practice. And then after setting your intention, draw in a deep breath. Let it pass through the mouth. Exhale. Oh, this fresh air. So grateful. Good. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Straighten out your legs. Take a big stretch. Exhale, draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. A little rock side to side. Good. Really tightly squeeze the legs in. Deep flexion of the thighs, getting that nice rounding and that nice release through the low back, which again, that's part of our work for today, is focusing a lot on freeing up that lumbar fascia. Good. Set your left foot down. Grab your strap. Loop your lap. Loop your strap around your right ball of the foot. So right around the base of the big toe. And you can adjust your strap. This is kind of a restorative yoga trick. You can adjust your strap so that you don't have to do any work. You can just loop your arm through it. Or you can grab it with your hands. Those of you with more limited motion in your hamstrings, keeping this left leg bent is going to greatly help you find a little bit more comfort and depth in your movement. If you are a little bit more free today in the hamstrings, you can straighten out that left leg. And let's just take a few breaths here. Just doing some exploring, a little rock side to side, forward and back. Just feeling. Noticing which areas of the hamstring are talking to you. For some people, they feel it a little bit closer to the knee. For some people, it's more of the belly of the muscle. And for some people, it's a little bit higher. Now, during this practice, if you're feeling any really sharp pulling, tugging, or kind of stabbing sensation in the hamstring close to the knee or right at the gluteal fold, then that means I want you to bend your knee a little bit or ease up on the hamstring stretch, because I really don't want anybody pulling too much on the attachment of the hamstring, which can happen when the belly of the hamstring is more restricted. Then a lot of that tension goes to the weakest point, which is what? Where it attaches to the knee and to the pelvis. So today we're going to be focusing a lot as we stretch on where we feel it and redirecting it to more of the belly of the muscle. Good. These next few breaths here, I want you to hyperflex your foot. Like really try and push your heel up. Pull the ball of your foot down. Pull your toes down towards the mat. Start to feel the stretch through the calf. And you can even pull straight down with that strap, pulling down towards the earth, really emphasizing that stretch for just 3, 2, 1. Good. Open the leg to the right. Just a couple breaths here, getting into the inner thigh. The hamstring is not just one big muscle. The hamstring is 3 muscles. And if I'm remembering correctly, 2 attach on the inside of the knee, 1 attaches on the outside. And so you can actually target one of the hamstrings by doing inner thigh work as well. So we want to pull side of your belly, outside of the leg as we stretch. Good. Bring the leg back up through center, cross it over the body into a twist, right arm to a T. Good. Draw that foot back in space using the strap. Breathe into the spine, let it soften. Inhale, come back up through center, bend the knee, remove the strap, and let's switch sides. Well, hello there, this is future editing Kaylee. My sound, for some reason, is really messed up here, but just guiding you into the other side with your right foot planted, left ball of the foot into the strap. Of course, just like before, you can straighten out the right leg if that feels okay in your low back and in your hamstring. Go ahead and add some movement if that's what you like to do, or just find some stillness, allowing the foot to flex. And then at this point, I was talking about how even runners, people who are really into sports or athletic, can still have really weak hamstrings. And I talk about how in the sequence we're gonna, as well as doing hamstring stretching, we're going to be doing some postures that actively strengthen our hamstring as well, which usually in turn makes them a lot happier. Take another couple breaths here. Really flexing the foot, just like before. Heel up towards the sky. Pull your toes down towards the mat. Maybe even use a little bit of force down onto the strap to really get that flex and feel that stretch in the calf muscle. Good. Open the leg to the left. Couple breaths here, just getting into the inner thigh. Using the strap, it doesn't, this stretch isn't like the most effective thing ever. A lot of you know I like to teach this stretch without using the strap and just hovering the leg. But we're just warming up. We're just getting the legs warm. Good. Bring the leg back up through center. Switch hands. Left arm comes to a T, a nice twist here. Good. So we're going to be doing a little bit of twisting today. We're going to do some side stretching, mostly side stretching. A little bit of twisting, but mostly with our hamstrings, we're going to be doing some side bending to help loosen up the QLs, which are the quadratus lumborum muscles, which are paraspinal muscles, meaning they run along the spine and they really like to get tight. We'll do a little bit of hips as well. Good. Bring the leg back up through center. Bend the knee. Remove the strap. Good. Set the strap aside. Draw both knees in. Take happy baby. Grab the inside of your heels today. Rock a little side to side. Good. Again, just loosening up the back body, loosening up the low back. Good. From here, bend the left leg, straighten the right as much as it can. Maybe it doesn't straighten it almost at all. Just push through the heel, push through the hand. Good. Switch, bend your right leg and straighten the left as much as you can. So on this side for me, I can't straighten it. My right leg I can, my left leg I can't. Ooh. Good. Come back to center, little rock side to side. Set the soles of the feet down. We're doing a nice slow warm up today. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Good. Push your right knee forward without using your hands, just using your outer hip muscles to do so. Good. Bring your left thigh into the chest, again without using your hands. So you're actively pressing your right knee forward, but you're pulling your left thigh in without using your hands. So we're working that left quad using our right outer hip muscles to fire. Take a breath in. And then go ahead and interlace your hands behind the thigh or the knee. A good modification, if you're pretty tight here, is to also use a strap. That way you don't have to overwork in the upper body, the shoulders, the arms. You can keep your upper body relaxed. And a little rock side. So really nice thing to do when you're doing hip openers is to add a little bit of twisting, because that twisting with the hip opener is really going to help you loosen that fascia in the back body, the thoracicular lumbar fascia. Because you have to think of that fascia as being in that X formation. So if my right hip is being stretched and I bring my pelvis more to the left, I drop my legs more to the left, then where it connects in the lat and where it connects in my right hip on the right side of the pelvic bowl and glute, that's what's being lengthened. Good. Back up through center, lower the foot down, and then the right. Switching sides, left ankle crosses. Push your left knee forward, so you're just using those outer hip muscles to get your range of motion. Then bring your right thigh in. Oh boy, I'm sore on this side. A couple breaths here, just holding, getting that active movement. Again, you can use your strap if you need. And then bring your hands around your thigh, knee, shin bone, or strap. And then again, a little rock side to side and just notice what you feel. Again, for me, when my legs go towards the right, oh my gosh. Good, one more breath in. And release both feet down. Bring a Chipotle napkin. Your feet under your knees. Fingertips, palms down on the mat. Take an inhale, press down through your heels. Lift your hips, come into a nice easy bridge pose. Good, just a nice easy bridge. Not too much. And let's focus on the legs here rather than the spine. So from your bridge, give a nice firm press down through your heels and through your big toe mounds, so the big toe joint. And then as you push through the heels, drag your heels towards your shoulders. Feel your hamstrings and glutes contract. Now, if that bothers your knee, I want you to try a couple things. I want you to try widening your stance, so bringing your feet wider. And then I want you to try turning your toes out and see if that helps. And if that still doesn't help, if your knees still really bother you when you contract the hamstrings in this, meaning dragging the heels back to your shoulders, then I want you to just not do it. And just focus on the press down with the heels. Good, take a breath in. And slowly release down. Good. Draw the legs in, rock up and down the spine. If that bothers you, just roll over to one side, roll over the knees, find tabletop. So we had a nice, long, slow, steady warm-up. My hamstrings are already feeling loosened and happy. So coming into tabletop, let's start to work on the spine. Legs hip-width distance apart. Take an inhale, arching the spine, cow pose. Exhale, bring your chin to chest, cat pose. Inhale through your cow. Let the elbows bend, pull your heart forward. Exhale, cat. Inhale. Exhale. Good, let's pause in cat pose. Please don't mind my head because I'm trying to just not put my face directly in my microphone. So I'm holding it up a little bit. But go ahead and pull your chin to your chest. Push firmly down through your hands. Firm, 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 like you're really, really trying to push your mat away. It really repulses you, or like something really gross is right in front of your face. Push it away. Feel your shoulder blades broaden and spread across the sides of the rib cage. Pull your navel and ribs up. Rather than thinking of using the spine to round the spine, I want you to think of your core. Your core is what's rounding your spine. Your core is rounding your back body. Your core is pushing it upwards. Good. Feel that big tilt of the pelvis. Now from here, I want you to add some movement. Staying in your cat pose position, just start to move the hips side to side and see what you feel. So for me, when I bring my hips to the left and kind of round through my side body, through the left side, I feel that that word is so hard for me to say. My low back fascia start to pull more on that side. And then when I move to the other side, same thing. When I let my hips go to the right, if I push the ground away, if I round, I really feel it along the right side body. Good. Inhale, come to a neutral tabletop position. Inhale, reach your right arm up to the sky. Exhale, thread the needle. So looking to the left, resting the right side of your face down onto your mat. Good. Keep your hips square. If you have any SI joint issues, don't worry about keeping your hips square. But those of you who don't, I want you to keep your pelvis relatively fixed, and then press down through your left hand to spin your left armpit open to the sky. Maybe look up. Good. Now, those of you who do not have SI joint sensitivity, I want you to think about your left hip, so the hip that you're able to look at, and pull your left hip back behind you and to the right. So like you're trying to get longer from your armpit to your left hip. Good. Inhale, press through your left hand, reach back up to the right. Exhale, right hand down. Inhale, left arm up to the sky and twist. Exhale, thread the needle. Good. Press through your right hand, maybe bring your gaze up, really rotate the spine. And then again, those of you without SI joint issues, I want you to bring your awareness to the hip. You can see your right hip. Pull your right hip back behind you and then slightly to the left. Like you're trying to get longer from your left hip through your right armpit. Did I say left hip? I meant right hip. Through your right armpit. Good. And the reason for this is because when I say if you have SI joint issues is if you have an unstable SI, having the pelvis move with you, when you twist, I've had too much coffee this morning. I can't keep up with my brain. Good. Open back up to the left. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the hand down. What I'm saying is when you have SI joint sensitivity, letting your pelvis move with you when you twist can be really beneficial. Good. From your tabletop, tuck your toes under. Head into downward facing dog. And then as we always do, take a few breaths in your down dog. Just move through the legs, pedal out the heels. Take a few breaths here, moving as you like. Good, and then these next few breaths in downward facing dog, bring your hands nice and wide, feet hip width distance, and then deeply bend your right leg, send your left heel down towards the mat. Good, from here, drop your hips over to the right. Good, really push down through the left hand. Inhale, come back through center. Lower your right heel down, deeply bend your left leg. Let your hips sway over to the left. Good. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, just let the heels soften down. If they touch down, then that's great. If they don't, then that's great. Take a couple breaths. From your downward facing dog, inhale, bring your gaze forward. Exhale, step, walk, or hop to the front of your mat. Good. From here, inhale, take a halfway lift, feet are hip width distance apart, shoulders up with the hips. Good. Draw your shoulder blades back, lengthen your heart forward. So this is what we want in all of our forward folds today. We want a nice long spine. We want a nice long heart. I need to maintain this position because this will be some core work for you while I talk. Maintain this position. Look at me. So often what happens is when our hamstrings are restricted, it's often because our pelvis is restricted. So if I go to fold and my hamstring will not anterior tilt forward, which is what's going to give me that arch of the low spine, if I cannot get that anterior tilt, what's going to happen is this. Right? If my pelvis is restricted, then this is where I'm going to be. And this is where I used to be. I have not always been flexible. So in order to get that length in the hamstrings, we need to be able to let the tailbone tilt up to get that forward tilt, which is also flexion of the hips, where your hips and your belly come together, right? So if you watch me, again, if my pelvis is restricted here, I cannot anterior tilt, I'm going to be stuck. But the moment I have that freedom in my low back and I'm able to tilt the pelvis forward, that's where you get range of motion from. So that's why today we're going to be working on hamstrings, but we're also going to be working on that low back. Take one more breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Now, those of you where you forward fold and your spine is super rounded, I want you to soften the knees as much as you can to get your low back flat. Good. So let's say I'm here. I need to bend my knees this much to get my low back flat. You can even use blocks here underneath the hands if you're more like in a like this position. That's totally okay. Good. Then, keeping your low back flat, I want you to push down through your heels and see how much you can straighten your legs. And you might not be able to at all. You might only be able to do it a little bit. Good. Take a breath in. Breath out. Good. Bring your hands to your hips, bend your knees, push down through the heels, come all the way up to stand. Release your hands down by your side. We're going to do just a couple simple salutations just to warm up through the hamstrings, get our forward folds going, get our bodies warm, and connect to our breath, which is our yoga practice. And then, or the most important part of our yoga practice. And then we're going to move into some slower, longer holds that will hopefully really help us target our hamstrings and feel good. So let's get some movement going. Let's flow. We're going to work on that tilt. We're going to work on some flexion of the hips. Inhale, stretch your arms up and overhead. Reach your fingertips. Exhale, forward fold. Go ahead and let the knees bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Straighten the legs. Push through the heels. Lift your shoulders up. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back to a plank pose. Good. Take an inhale in your plank. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, take a nice baby cobra. Push down through the hands, let the spine arch. Exhale, toes tuck. Go up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up high. Exhale, step the foot forward to the top of your mat. Good. Drop your back knee down. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, keep the arms reaching up and let your hips go forward. So small little back bend, nothing major. Good. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, hands plant, step back to plank. Inhale and plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, nice baby back bend. Let the elbows stay bent. Pull your heart forward. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, step it forward and drop your back knee. Inhale, arms stretch to the sky. Exhale, keep your arms reaching up, but let your hips go forward, keeping your back hip pretty stacked over your back knee. Inhale, back up. Exhale, fingertips down, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, hands through prayer, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands down, step back to plank. Inhale on your plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, a little back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, step the right leg forward. Drop the back knee. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, just a small back bend. Focus on the hips. Let the hips go forward. Feel that stretch in the left hip flexor. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hands plant. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Drop your back knee. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, little back bend. Inhale, up. Exhale, fingertips down, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, hands through prayer, fold. Adding on a little bit. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right leg back. Drop the right knee down. Keep the right hand down. Inhale, side angle to the left. Exhale, pull your left arm down like a cactus. Pull your elbow down. Pull your shoulder away from the ear and rotate the spine. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hands plant, step back to plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, take a back bend. Can be big or small. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, step it forward and drop your back knee. Inhale, twist to the right. Exhale, pull your right elbow down. Think about your hand is in a resistance band and you're pull that right shoulder down. Good, take an inhale. Exhale, fingertips down, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep up through the arms. Exhale, straight back down through prayer. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left foot goes back. Drop the knee. Inhale, side angle to the right, same side. Exhale, pull that elbow down. Inhale, twist. Exhale, plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Drop your back knee. Inhale, twist to the left. Exhale, cactus that left arm. Inhale, spin your left chest to the sky. Exhale, fingertips down, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stretch up to the sky. Exhale, hands through prayer, and release. Good. My heart rate is up. I hope yours is too. Let it getting a little bit of sweat on the forehead. So now let's slow it down a bit. Let's get into kind of our meat of our sequence now that our bodies are warmed and turned up. Now that we're synced with our breath, feet hip width distance apart. Take an inhale, easy chair pose. Easy Utkatasana. Thumbs to breastbone, shoulders away from the ears. Hug your shoulder blades back at a little lift in the chest. And then sit nice and low. So I like to practice chair when doing hamstring work because number one, we're warming our hamstrings. We got to think of the body like a marshmallow, like a molten lava cake. You need to be able to slowly roast it so that the inside gets nice and gooey. So in your chair, I want you to focus on sitting low and get the smallest little tilt forward of the low back. So if you find that you're really like this, you're really rounded in the low back, I want you to loosen up a little bit and try and find that natural arch of the low back. Shoulder blades back. Draw the navel in. Good. Body types who tend to have the tightest hamstrings, I know we're here a long time, so sit even lower. Who tend to have tighter hamstrings are more straight up and down body types, narrower hips, really athletic body types, or maybe you're runners, you've got probably really nice posture. But we need to keep this slight tilt of the low back. We need to keep that nice natural curve of the low back in order to have mobile hamstrings. Take one more breath in here. On your exhale, just drape over your thighs and forward fold. Sorry about the dog. Churro, come here. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to downward facing dog. Good. Now I want you to think about that tilt in your downward facing dog. So let your knees bend. Again, those who tend to have really tight hamstrings can feel a lot of hatred for a downward facing dog because it can feel really tight in the legs and the back. So I want you to bend your knees and lift your heels. So if you look at me, you can see I'm not bending my knees and sitting my butt. Keeping my hips high, I'm just pulling my thighs to my belly, right? You see the difference? It's like I'm isolating my hips. So I'm pulling my thighs to my belly like a little sandwich. And then from there, I'm going to pull my navel up just a touch to use my core. And then I'm going to lift my hips even higher. Take a breath in. Breath out. Good. Inhale, let your right leg float up like it weighs nothing. Keep your hips square. Don't worry about doing the splits. You can point or flex the foot, whatever feels more engaged for you. Let your right hip drop down a touch. Micro bend the knee. Lift your heel high. Inhale. Exhale, step the foot forward. Good. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, sink into your lunge. Good. Inhale. Exhale, hands through prayer, twist to the right. Hook your left elbow on your right thigh. Inhale, press into your hands. Exhale, little twist, maybe looking up, shoulders down and back. Good. Think about your right hip. Pull your right hip back in space and slightly to the left. Good. Now keep that arrangement of your hips. Think of your left leg. Push through your left heel. Lift your left hamstring up to the sky. Good. So that left leg is straight-ish as much as you can. And really awake, really active. Good. Take an inhale. Exhale. Come back through center. Inhale. Reach the arms up. Exhale, hands through prayer again. Rise up, warrior three. Good, so again, we're just building some fire in that right leg. Take an inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, bring your fingertips down to your mat or to blocks in standing splits. Okay, I know standing splits gives you a lot of feelings, especially if you're watching this video, which means you probably have tighter hamstrings. I have very flexible hamstrings, and this pose still gives me a lot of thoughts. So you can bring your hands to blocks. I'm more comfortable with my hands on the mat. And the reason this pose is so good for your hamstrings is because weight-bearing folds are always going to be more effective than seated folds because you're not weight-bearing through the legs. Here you're weight-bearing. 100% of your body weight pretty much is going into that right leg. So it's a really effective forward fold. So what I want you to do here is think about that nice long spine that you would have in a halfway lift. So inhale, push through your fingertips, halfway lift, pull your heart forward. Keep this, draw your weight more into the toes, into the ball of your foot. So you feel your weight go forward, you feel your hips stack over your heels. Keep that flat back as much as you can, fold over that foot. And then for just this last breath, lift that left leg higher than you think you can. For 3, 2, 1, inhale. Exhale, step your left foot back, drop your left knee down. Good. Give that right side a bit of a break. Good. Bring your right foot to the right, heel on the mat, ball of the foot off the mat. Hands to your instep. Hands can be to blocks or the mat. Again, think of that long spine. Pull your heart forward. Let your tailbone slightly tilt up. Either stay here or lower down to your forearms, onto a block or on the mat. Good. Let's take just a couple breaths here. Just giving that right hamstring a little bit of a break, getting into the hips. Take an inhale. Exhale, walk your hands back up. Left hand off to the left of your mat. Inhale, open up to the right. So again, a little bit of that back body work. Take an inhale. Exhale, cactus that right arm. Draw both shoulders back. The birds are really talkative right now. Good. Let your hips sink heavy. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands plant, step back to a plank. Just a nice short sequence. Inhale on your plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. From downward facing dog, again, lift the heels, pull the thighs to your belly, but keep the hips up towards the sky. Inhale, lift your left leg up high. Good. Take a couple breaths here. Isolate that hamstring if you can by just integrating it, bringing your awareness there. Lift your heel up. Let that left hip drop. Take an inhale. Exhale, step the foot forward. Inhale, rise up to a lunge. Exhale, settle into the lunge. Let the hips soften. Let the knees bend. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands through prayer, twist to the left. Good. Couple breaths here. I want you to think about the side body and the back body. Press into the palms. Take an inhale. Exhale, rotate. Good. Now think about that left hip. So the hip that you're facing, draw that left hip back in space and slightly to the right. If that bothers your SI joint, don't do it. Press into your hands, twist, inhale. Lift that right leg higher, exhale, so that right leg is working. Take an inhale. Exhale, come back through center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands through prayer, warrior 3. Good. Take an inhale in your warrior 3. Lift that right leg up high. Exhale, fingertips to blocks or the mat. Good. We're going to spend some time here. Inhale, halfway lift. Press into your fingertips or into your blocks. Lean your weight forward into the toes and all of the foot. Nice length of the spine. Keep that length as much as you can as you fold. Again, be on blocks. If you need some extra height, try not to let your weight sink too much into that heel. I don't know if you can tell, but my right leg is shaking. My floating leg. Good. Now, with your weight forward, pushing down through the ball of that left foot, lift that right leg higher than you think you can. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knee, lower the foot down. Lower the knee down. Lizard lunge, left foot moves to the left, heel on the mat, ball of the foot off the mat. Inhale, pull your heart forward like a proud little lizard. Exhale, stay here or lower to your forearms or to a block. I'm pretty freaking sore today, so a block feels nice. Good, take a couple breaths here. Just giving that left leg a bit of a break. But again, we're also working on improving flexion, which is good. We're improving flexion while keeping the spine long. All good things. Take an inhale. Exhale. Rise up. Right hand off to the right side of the mat. Inhale, open to the left. Exhale, cactus that left arm. Good. So it's like you have a resistance band in this left hand. You're pulling that shoulder down and rotating your left side open. Good. This is really going to help us get into this low back, into some freedom of the thoracic spine. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands plant, step back to plank. Inhale on your plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Very nice. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and drop your your left knee down. Inhale, come into a nice low lunge. Exhale, bring your left hand into your right wrist. So you're bringing your right hand around your left wrist. Pull your left arm up, as high as you can. Inhale. Exhale, arc your body over to the right. Good. I don't know how well you can see me, so I'm going to turn around and I'm going to try and mirror you. So your right hand has your left wrist and you're arcing up and over to the right, towards in the same direction as your front leg. Good. So this is helping to get some nice stretch on our QLs, on our psoas, and that thoracocular lumbar fascia. I don't know why I really have trouble saying that. Thoracular lumbar fascia. Good. Inhale, come back up through center. Exhale, bring your fingertips down to the mat. Now we're going to do something we don't do very often in my yoga classes. I want you to really lengthen that left leg back. So normally when we do a lunge, I say, let's not do this. Let's not tilt the pelvis. Let's not be heavy in the hips. And we're a little bit more up here. Today, right now, I want you to go just low. I want you to go low. I want you to go splat. I want you to get as much as a split sensation as you can. Good. Tips down or to blocks, whatever you prefer. If you want arms up, you can do arms up. That for me just does not work. When my pelvis is tilted this far forward, my shoulders lose all their range of motion. But we're just working on getting that length in the hip flexor and this flexion in the left leg, in the right leg. Good. Take an inhale in your low lunge. Exhale. Bend your back knee, straighten your front knee, come into half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. So back hip is stacked over your back knee. Front foot is flexed, meaning your toes are over your heel. Adjust your blocks as needed. I like using blocks, even though I can easily fold and get my hands flat here. I still like using blocks. It's just comfortable for me. And I want you to make sure your back hip is over your back knee. That's really important. So you're not back here. This is going to get tiring really fast. I want everything stacked. Now from here, I want you to bend your front knee. Bend it deep. With your front knee bent, I want you to press into your hands and straighten out your spine. Good. Allow yourself to have that natural curve of the low back. Push down into your heel. And then, as much as you can, keeping this length in the spine, start to straighten that leg again. Keep pressing down through the front heel. Keep the front foot flexed. Good. Now, maybe this is where you are. You are just bending and straightening that leg and keeping the spine long. Maybe has you up here or up here. That's okay. I would rather you be up high with a nice curve of the low back rather than down here like this. Okay? And then if you happen to have more space, then you can start to fold without letting the spine round. Now this is really important. You'll remember at the beginning of the practice I said if you feel any sharp pulling, tugging, pinching at the very top of where the hamstring connects at the gluteal fold, then you're going too intense. Then you need to either soften the knee or you need to lift the spine up a little bit more, okay? Take one more breath in. Exhale, rebend your front knee nice and slow because we did a lot of stretching here. Nice and slow, front over front ankle. Good. Inhale, shoulder blades back. Lift the heart. Take a little bit of a back bend. Let the hips go forward. Exhale, straighten the front leg, sink it back. Inhale, rising back up. Take a little back bend. Exhale, sink the hips forward, shoulder blades back. Good. Inhale to transition. Straighten the front leg, flex the foot. Exhale, keep your spine long and fold. Inhale, transition, front knee over front ankle. Exhale, hips forward, shoulders back. Inhale to transition, front leg straight. Exhale, keep the spine long as you fold. Maybe you don't fold very much. That's okay. Inhale, transition, front knee over front ankle. Exhale, hands plant, step back to plank. Inhale in your plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, notice the difference between the two legs. My right heel is currently on the mat, my left heel is not. Good, inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, step it forward. Good, drop your back knee down. Inhale, stretch the arms up into your low lunge. Exhale, left hand grabs your right wrist. Pull your right arm up to the sky. Arc up and over to the left. So let your hips move to the right. Let your body weight kind of shift to the right as you pull your arms and upper body to the left. Good. So this is really going to help, again, get into your psoas, which is a side bending muscle, as well as a hip flexor and spine stabilizer. It's going to get into your QL, that big hunky muscle that tends to spasm and can really restrict the pelvis. And we're getting into that lumbar fascia. Good. Take one more breath in. Breath out. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, fingertips down to the mat or to blocks. Walk your right leg back as much as it can go. So you're in a really low, heavy, stretched out lunge. Again, you could potentially straighten that back knee and it would be like a rubber band, right? But go ahead and lower it down for now. So we're going to take just a couple breaths, just letting the hips be really heavy, finding that arch in the lumbar spine. Remembering I said earlier that really common, this is not obviously true for everybody, but it's really common for those who have trouble anteriorly tilting the pelvis, which my body knows nothing about, tend to have really restricted hamstrings. Because we need to have that forward tilt in order to get a good long stretch in the back of the legs. Good. From here, bring your hands to blocks. Just go back, straighten your front leg. Now for me, I need to adjust my stance. My legs are disproportionately long to the rest of my body, so I'm going to wiggle my left leg forward so that my hips are stacked over my back knee. And then inhale, press through your fingers or your blocks, lift the spine halfway, bend your front knee. So good bend, not a micro bend. Bend your front knee. Push down through your front heel. Immediately you'll feel your hamstring engage, which is what we want. That little engagement is going to help protect the attachment. And then pull your heart forward, lengthen. So again, maybe you're up here. Your leg is bent and you're up here. And then I want you to think about your tailbone slightly tilted up, like super small amount, like you're tilting your pelvis forward. Keep that. Push down through your front heel and start to straighten the leg. Okay. Now again, maybe you're here, you're feeling good amounts of sensation. If you have space to fold, keeping that spine long, then take it. If you don't, stay wherever you are. Doesn't matter what it looks like. All that matters is what you're feeling. All that matters is that you're doing the work. All that matters is that you are feeling what the benefits of the posture are. The benefits of the posture are not the aesthetics. The benefits of the posture are, what are you feeling? What is your intention? Good. Keep pushing through that front heel. a little bit of the drag of the front heel towards the back of your mat. Again, we're just keeping the hamstring slightly kicked on. Good, one more breath in. And then on your exhale, re-bend your front knee, nice and slow, let your hips go forward. Good. Hug your shoulder blades back, let your hips sink down and heavy, maybe a little arch of the spine. This feels so good on my right hip. And then inhale, transition, flex your front foot. Exhale, fold if you have the space. Inhale, transitioning back into your lunge. Exhale, hips forward and heavy shoulders squeeze back. Inhale, transition to Ardha Hanumanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, transition. So we're adding dynamic movement here, dynamic stretching, really beneficial. Exhale, hips heavy, shoulders back. Inhale, transition. Exhale, fold. Let's do one more. Inhale, transition. Exhale, hips heavy, shoulders back. Good. Inhale, transition. Exhale, fold. Inhale, transition. Exhale, right hand to right side, open up to the left. Good. Inhale. Oh my God. Okay, it just flies. Exhale, hands plant, step back to plank. I thought I was under attack by a bee. Inhale and plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Take a couple breaths in down dog. Feel the length of the hamstrings you've created. And then inhale, look forward, drop your knees down. Good. So we're already almost done with this practice. From here, we're going to move into our hip opener. We're going to bring our right hip on the right side of our mat. And we're going to take this 90-90 stance we've been doing in a lot of my classes, so you're probably familiar with this. So right hip is on the right side of your mat, hip to knee, knee to heel. Same with your back leg. Knee is in line with your hip. Heel is in line with your knee. Good. Turn yourself forward. Lean your weight forward until your knee touches the mat. Good. Maybe you feel enough hip opening here to stay. Maybe you lower down to your forearms or to a block. You can even just put your right forearm on a block. Coming into a nice gentle hip opener of that right side. So we're already almost at the end of this practice. We didn't go too crazy. We didn't go too ham. And part of the reason for that is that hamstrings are something that need to be worked on really gradually. And often we think when we really want to gain flexibility that we need to do like a really intensive practice where we can't walk the next day. That's not what we want with the hamstrings. The hamstrings, while it's good to be flexible and have mobility in them, the hamstrings are designed to be a muscle that snaps. That's what happens when you walk, when you run, is the hamstring is snapping back. So while it's obviously totally fine for many bodies to do the splits or have flexible hamstrings, you know, you're not like turning your hamstrings to rubber while doing that. We also want to remember that our hamstrings also need to be respected, and we need to respect the integrity of them. And so I would rather you do this practice or the restorative practice or the quick stretch practice I'm going to film every day or every other day, rather than maybe once or twice a week do like a full hour where you are just like abusing the hamstrings. They really need to be sweet talked, and you really need to be consistent. Go ahead and sit up. Sit into your left hip, sit into your right hip to swing that left leg forward and switch sides. And the hamstring are similar to the spine in that way. Go ahead and set up for your pigeon on this side. I'm feeling really locked on this side. So I'm going to lower probably to a block on this side. So the spine is kind of the same way, where you just really need to be consistent, and that doing 8,000 back bends once or twice a week is not going to be nearly as good as if you were 5 days a week just doing some really feel good heart openers. So just remember that consistency, just like with most things, is much friendlier to your body and more supportive to your body. I could have easily, and I have many times before, done practices where we just go crazy. We just abuse the hamstrings for an hour, and then you leave feeling probably really stretched out. But then what happens is you can get really sore, or you can start to create micro tears near the attachment, which I've talked about before. When that happens, it hurts so bad. So today, I'm starting to loosen up now, so I'm going to lower down a little bit more. So today I really just wanted to create a practice that gave you information and gave you some time to just kind of learn, feel, observe, and just kind of know how to work your hamstrings in this practice and in other practices. Because you can, yoga is a major forward folding practice. It's why I don't teach hamstring focused classes very often, is because with consistent yoga, your hamstrings will open up pretty naturally because you just forward fold so much in yoga. This is a forward fold. We do so many forward folds. Good, go ahead and rise up. Sit into your left hip, swing your leg forward. Good. Lean back into your hands and just windshield wiper the legs side to side. Good. And then let's come onto our backs. We're going to finish up with our twist and then our shavasana. Whew. The sun is creeping in on me. Hello again. My sound messed up here, so go ahead and just let your hips shift over to the left and your knees to the right for supine twist. Arms into a T or cactus position, maybe gazing to the sky or over to the left. And moving to the other side, allow your hips to shift over to the right and your knees to fall to the left, taking any variation of the twist you did on the other side. Good. Go ahead and rise back up through center. Draw your knees into your chest. Now's your time if you would like to take a happy baby, or I know many students just love shoulder stand. I don't teach shoulder stand, but if you would like, I'll give you a few breaths. If you'd like to just hug the legs in and rock side to side, again, I've said so many times today that rounding that low back and a little bit of twisting side to side can be really good for stretching out that low back fascia. If you want to head to a reclined hip opener, or maybe you just want to sit for shavasana early, go ahead and head there. Give you guys 2 more breaths. Good, wherever you are, begin to unwind, setting up for your resting pose. Draw a deep breath in. Nice big sigh, exhale. Enjoy your shavasana. If you are feeling ready to arrive back to the body, draw a deep breath in, pulling it deep into the depths of your belly. Nice sigh out through the lips. Exhale. Gradually find movement back into the fingers and toes. Spine arch. Little rock side to side with the hips. And then roll over onto your favorite side. Taking a moment here after our practice to consider one thing we feel grateful for today. And then once you've given thanks, slowly, keeping the eyes closed, make your way up to a comfortable seat. Guide your palms together in prayer, head bowed towards your heart. Bring yourself back to the intention that you set for your practice. Thank yourself for making it onto your mat, for putting in the work, for giving yourself a beautiful form of self-love and self-care today. Together, let's seal in this practice with one final breath as a virtual collective. Take an inhale. Exhale. Bring your thumbs up to your third eye as we pray, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. Namaste.